Hello everyone, I'm TG and welcome back to the House of Sleaze. Well, I'm back again with another guide for Ghost of Tsushima Legends. This time we're taking a look at the Ronin. Now, the Ronin is a very important class because it is the only class that's really designated as a healer. So as you progress further and further into the game, you will see a lot of the times people don't care what comp your team is as long as there's at least one Ronin. Now, the unfortunate thing about that is, unlike some of the other classes, you have a little bit less leeway about how you're going to play the Ronin. I mean, frankly, you could play however the hell you want. It is a game after all. But what I mean is people are going to be expecting you to be a healer. But never mind that shit, you're not going to have to worry about that until much later on whenever you're at the end game content. To get things started, the Ronin is just as unique as any other class and just as much fun to play. So let's dive into what makes them tick. So when starting off your Ronin journey, the first thing you're going to need to worry about is your katana. Now, if the Ronin is your first class, a lot of the time the katana that you're going to find yourself most familiar with already is the stone katana. Now, this gives you access to the stone stance, obviously, and does great against enemies who are using a sword. So in the early game, you can be using the stone katana until you find yourself a water katana and kind of just figure out what works best. Or what I do is take my stone katana and re-roll the perk to have water stance. That way I have more viability when dealing with enemies. And when you're playing as a Ronin, you're not really in there to do damage, you're there to survive and to keep other people alive too. So keep that in mind whenever you're choosing the perks. When it comes to ranged weapons, the first thing you're going to see is the half bow. And for a Ronin, half bow, kinda fucking shit. But you're not going to see the bomb pack for a little while yet. But as soon as you do see that bomb pack, bang that bad boy in, because this thing is crazy. It stuns enemies, kills enemies, and it fills up your resolve like nothing else in the game. It is invaluable whenever it comes to being a Ronin. So boys and girls, suffer through that half bow. Just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the next piece of equipment you want to familiarize yourself with is your charm. So, like any class, the Ronin gets the Ronin-specific charm, which is going to give you access to all kinds of perks that will increase your abilities. But you're not going to be seeing those for a little while, so the best charm that you can really use would be the defensive charm, because like I said, you want to stay alive. You're not about doing damage like a samurai or a hunter. You're really all about holding a point and making sure everybody is a-okay. So on to the fun stuff. First and foremost, for your ghost weapons, I think the kunai is a great fit, especially earlier on. Now, you might not think the kunai does that much damage, but you can actually roll the perk Supermassive, which increases its damage and causes knockdown. And then on top of that, Ronins have a technique at their disposal that increases the power of their ghost weapons by 50%. So you can actually be getting some big kills off this kunai, and not just using it as a way to interrupt enemies. The next ghost weapon is no contest. It's gotta be the smoke bomb. The smoke bomb is great for all the classes, and although it doesn't do any damage, this thing will save your life. And not only will it save your life, but it will save the lives of your teammates as well. You can drop this thing on a point and resurrect dead teammates, assassinate an enemy, or just sit there and play your flute. You know, really, it's up to you. Great thing about the smoke bomb is whenever you drop it, all the enemies around you are vulnerable to assassinations and critical strikes. More than once. So if you stay in the center of that smoke bomb, the enemies are not going to be able to see you for a set time. So you can assassinate, jump back in. Assassinate another one, jump back in. It's a very useful tool, not just for the Ronin, but pretty much anyone. So now let's take a look at some of the techniques that you're going to run into in your first few levels of playing the Ronin. First and foremost, the best ability in the game, Breath of Azanami! And I guarantee you will never get tired of hearing that. What this does is it is a group res for people anywhere on the map, brings them back from being downed. Now this is invaluable in the early game, in the mid game, and in the late game. So do not sit on this thing, use it often. And as soon as you unlock the Soothing Breath perk, not only is it a group res, but it's also a group heal. So it will heal every single member of your team to full over 8 seconds. So you don't just need to wait until someone's down. You can actually use this preemptively when they're at about half health, and you can heal the entire team. The next of the Ronin's techniques is the Spirit Doggo, and what this does is summon a friendly dog companion that will help you fight enemies. So not only does this provide an extra target for enemies to hit, but it will keep them off your back, and later on, whenever you can reroll your Ronin specific charms, you can actually turn this into a bear, which is fantastic, or you can cause it to have a healing aura around it. What that means is, while it's fighting alongside your teammates or yourself, it's actually healing you as well. So that's a lot of fun to play with. There's a lot of different builds that you can use to utilize this ability over its alternative. Now we come to the Ronin's perks, the first of which is the enhanced ghost weapons. And this is just fantastic. What it does is increase your ghost weapon damage by 50%. As if that's not good enough, what it also affects is your ranged bomb pack. Now the bomb pack counts as both the ranged attack and a ghost weapon. So if you're stacking ghost weapon damage, you're also stacking bomb pack damage. This is what makes it so your bomb packs are clearing entire areas. And not only do they clear entire areas with their damage, in case they don't kill something, they're stunning it and filling your resolve like crazy. So this is a very, very useful ability, even in the endgame content. Now, less useful is the staggering in position. You'll probably only be using this until you get the next perk in the tree, and what it does is increase your stagger damage by 15%, which is quite honestly not bad, especially if you're running around solo or doing story missions. But if you're focused more on survival and group play, you're going to find that it falls just a little bit short. But don't despair, because now we are looking at Soothing Breath. And like I said earlier, this makes it so your Breath of Izanami now applies a heal over time for all players for 8 seconds. So like I said earlier, this is invaluable. The one downside to this, though, is it really is your only option. You could run the next perk, which actually causes you to light enemies on fire, but if you do that, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be upset. They're going to be expecting you to be a full healing Ronin. And although that sucks a little bit because it takes away from, the amount of things that you can do as a Ronin, it is really the most useful. So that was a brief look at beginning the Ronin class. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it helped you just a little bit. And in my opinion, the Ronin is really one of the most fun classes to play, because even if you stray away from being just a full healing Ronin, there's so much more utility there. There's so much more fun to be had. So Ronin's really great whenever you group up with another Ronin, because then one of you can go healing and then the other one can go fire damage or ghost weapon damage. And it really does make for a devastating combo. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And just sneak on over to my Patreon if you really, really love me. If you really, really love me. But hey, just watching it makes my heart smile as well. So as always, I'm TG. If you like what you saw, you know what to do. If not, keep it sleazy.